Blade Wolf vs. Khamsin. Pretty odd for such a short DLC to be introducing new characters, but in this case we got the guy going by the name of Khamsin who got about 3 minutes of screen time when we first saw him on the codec, and now he's returned to take on Blade Wolf for going AWOL. Yeah, for the actual mission that's in the real world in this DLC, Blade Wolf's only purpose in this wasn't even the mission whatever they were supposed to be doing up here in Russia. I'd assume that Mistral and Blade Wolf were here for the protection of Zoldeya from the main game, but that's only speculation as always because this mission starts with them just staring at the road going from the other direction from where Zoldeya is supposed to be. However, throughout the conversation that they have on top of this roof, Mistral lets Blade Wolf off his leash, so Blade Wolf responds to this by stealing the remote for his leash and running away. Then Mistral does this.
LQ-84I has gone AWOL. Destroy it.
So Blade Wolf suddenly finds himself fighting through waves and waves of recycled game assets within the second level of the main game running backwards. And for some reason, these waves are somehow easier than the VR mission enemies we've been fighting to prepare for this mission going off the rails. At the end of our fun in Blade Wolf's fight for freedom, we get the douchebag one-dimensional character being our final obstacle. Khamsin, who's apparently been watching a little bit of the Aliens franchise because he's wielding a power loader armor suit and a weapon that I can only describe as a 10-foot long hockey stick with a blade on the end of it. For some reason, through all of this, Khamsin has a personal vendetta against the thing he's never met before by the way he's harshly trying to eviscerate the dog with such extreme measures, using jump strikes that have enough power to tear up the road the fight's happening on. The thing I could say about this fight is that the encounter at least makes sense using the logic from the second Jetstream Sam fight where it's just plot-required happenstance having the same impact as your arch nemesis jumping down from the ceiling onto your back while in your own house. Or maybe some zany friend you have that thought that that'd be funny. The fight itself is actually pretty fun. Powerful enemy running some Godzilla battle tropes, and the road was apparently paved with health items if you get what I mean, which doesn't make it too difficult to be annoying. And Blade Wolf's parrying is just as good as Ryan, making attacks easier to block since players have now mastered it thanks to Jetstream Sam from the main game. All throughout this fight, Khamsin is absorbed by his own self-righteous superiority up until his actual finisher when he's actually surprised that the LQ-84I that he made fun of before is now tearing apart his power loader and chopping his body to bits. And I know that this might be a me thing, but from Khamsin's character design, I actually think that he literally was the power loader itself because Khamsin doesn't have feet in the part of the game where he's separated from it, and instead just shows wires jutting from his thighs. So there is something weird to this guy apart from his stupid-ass personality. So, boring character gets hashed to bits flying in from out of nowhere just so this bit of the game can actually have a boss fight, right? So this is a rehash of the LQ-84 battle from before. Well, I guess we can go on Actually, no. As much as I would have wanted that to be it, this DLC actually goes for a cruel twist ending on multiple levels. After Blade Wolf destroys Khamsin, Mistral comes up and reactivates Blade Wolf's electric leash from a toggle option she had within her codec system. See, Mistral always had the ability to reactivate Blade Wolf's leash even without the remote he'd stolen. This entire mission he's been on to win his freedom was manipulated by Mistral in order to eliminate Khamsin, a person she's had a grudge against for some reason, and now Blade Wolf was going to have to be reprogrammed. But not before this scene, which just sums up the cruelty of this portion better than I could ever hope to. See, this type of ending is one of the most cruel and sadistic endings that you could come up with as a writer. The free will tool ending, if you will. Where it's shown that the main character's actions that they thought was all of their own accord was actually the result of a higher authority manipulating them right into their hands. And it's so cruel because that situation can easily be thrown off screen right onto the audience solely because it's so relatable to what we experience as humans. On the base level, we all assume that our lives are controlled by our own decisions. But what if we're secretly being controlled by someone else? That all of our life has just been a means to an end for someone else. That lack of control is scary, and you've just witnessed that happen exactly within this DLC's story. But enough about introspective philosophical nonsense. You want to know my final verdict on Khamsin? Well, to sum it up, it's a one-dimensional character jumping in to exercise his hatred of Blade Wolf in a highly violent and spectacular fashion, and the reason behind it was the machination of a different character entirely making an attempt to flesh out a character at the exact wrong moment because this scene should have been played before Mistral's fight. However, since this DLC was released post-game, the character development of someone who's died doesn't make any sense. It makes sense for Blade Wolf because in Raiden's canon he's lived on. So Khamsin gets these final scores for his showing today. Definitely fared better than I expected, so good on him. Well, this fight concludes the Blade Wolf DLC, but since I'm a nice YouTuber, I'll give you that last scene just to make things all square between us.
Wow. Blade Wolf, you've been through so much.
Blade Wolf.
Yep, that's your name. I hope you like it. So, just after that was when Raiden saved you?
Yes, he freed me. Like me, he had been forced to kill. He has witnessed the dark side of human nature. But still, he continues to fight for what he believes in.
Yeah. And that's why I believe in him. He'll keep holding on to it and won't ever let it go.